Okay. Let's go and find Alpha now. You want to fly an Amaro to Kalusia? Well, I suppose if Master Denwai is going with you. Wait here, please. The Master should be along with the mount shortly.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
We are arrived. This is Cracked Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Kalusia. Pardon me. You should be safe here for the present. Compared to mainland, Sin-Eater attacks are far less prevalent, and native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It is the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance? That is Yulmore, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale, and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, the Umorian elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of our settlements their protection, if we bend the knee. But to say their ideals are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Ulmor is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay there, especially in the vicinity of the city. I am glad we understand each other. Now, the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. They work at a strip club. They call him Twinky Dink. If you head south along the coast, you will eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Ebor. Ebor keeps an eye on everything that happens in Kalusia, and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme. That will let him know you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amaro until you are ready to return. Moltash. That sounds like a bad, like, Eastern European way of trying to say mustache. This. And back on our way. There's a fate on this map that gives a mount similar to Ixion or Odin, one of those special mounts. But it's formidable, and it's for a frog mount, like a robotic frog mount. What are you after? Fish? Crab? Think I've got an eel in a barrel somewhere if you've got a taste for him. Hey, Kamari. You are legitimately a Ronso, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Oh, do love a bit of time. Chuck some in the pan and it's like a bloody festival of flavour. Apparently he's Welsh now. Now, what is it I can do for you? Can't say as there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Alphanoe? Aye, another one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. Ulmo's richer than all Northrant put together, but it's a different story to them as live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. Aye, I can hazard a guess as to where he is now. Got a message to him. Get a message to him. But you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, aye, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide. That's the fishing village just up the path there. You're looking for a rundown excuse for a tavern that locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there, and I'll see that Alphano joins you. That was... Why do I do this to myself? Why do I try and commit to accents I can't do or can't maintain? Fuck knows. Hopefully it's enjoyable, even if it's just to see me struggle. It's your first time in a tavern. It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What will you be having? Ale. Fine choice. What will you be paying with? Well now, those are exotic. Where'd you come by coins like that? Sorry dear, I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity, and I'm not about begging for one from the neighbours, so we'll just have to come to some other arrangement. Now here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What do you say to a bit of extermination? I want you to squash as many vermin that you can find, and visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. It'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me and you can lace about here as long as you like. Oh, they're blighted. That's not good. Pestilent swarm. Oh. I forgot how to play Dancer for a moment. I really should be doing flourishes for the extra damage. I'm assuming that standard and technical stack, given that they're different times. Yeah, should do. No response. Maybe you need to knock louder. No response. Perhaps the occupant's hard of hearing. You hear a faint squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, brave adventurer. No one's home. And judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. The gnawed scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence. That's right, I'll drive a car into the tavern, I don't give a shit. Welcome back, dear. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? Nothing. Unless you count Squeak Squeak. Gone? Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Yormore. You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? There I was, thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink on the house.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Hey.
Tis good to see you, my friend. The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alfino, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
Me? I was more worried about you.
Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before. I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped, but so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
Always. Starving.
And so we take to the road once more.
Assuming you have no objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I've yet to set foot in Ulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west, and then cross a small bridge. Oh yeah, I get to look forward to one of my favourite lines of dialogue. It's about one of the only things that I remember from the dialogue of Shadowbringers. But there's one line that we get to choose from. Calusia seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar. And a similar impression of the Crystarium, even in this distant world. People are much the same. To think that whenever a calamity struck the Source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No! Get away from me! Over there. Quickly, someone's in trouble. Hello. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank the fates. Look out! You good? My poor heart. Thank you, young miss. Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings. But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you all right, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell. Nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there were no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. Should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Ulmor with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now I'm sure a strapping lass like you is little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. Tis as the lady says, many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Ulmor's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? Ah yes, Alizé would be well qualified to speak on the subject. Compared with Armoreng, Kalusia is almost a haven, but as you saw, we cannot let our guard down. Had you arrived but a few moments later, the Sin Eaters would have claimed another victim. Still, we've won a small victory this time at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west. Or I could just head toward the marker on my map and say, fuck anything else. Yeah, I thought that these were one of the things that I needed to fight. Was it just the one, or...? No, gotta do a couple more. Or one more. Gotta get them nuts. I look ready to fight.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Ulmor itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
I thought I recognised you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
She's not here to compete. Leave her be.
What? I was only making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please!
Oh, fuck.
Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all. Yulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy. Even on days when fish is not on the menu!
Not on the menu!
You will answer the call. Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
Was there anyone?
What about that girl?
Do you recall how I said Yulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Yulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
I think that's quite a realistic way that a post-apocalyptic civilization would go, though.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the city of splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor.
Which game is it that has the jesters?
Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for?
Was it 9?
Well, what have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident.
It looks like a butt.
For you. Enjoy.
Thank goodness.
Over here.
Meal is a foodstuff which Yulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gatetown, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity, yet the whole arrangement just seems... well, let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Where are they producing the food? Fish makes sense, because it's on the water. But where are they getting the wheat? Now you understand why my attempts to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The dubious privilege of residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Ulmore's current ruler came into power. Yet from what I've seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I've tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now. I worry that, well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gatetown and judge the situation for yourself. Still here, are you? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Ulmore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gatetown's not much to look at, aye, but at least it's safe. And the meal's on best things I've ever tasted. So that probably means that there's something addictive in it. Because it's effectively gruel. A large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks, meal, you realise, float in the otherwise plain broth. Oh, okay, so is meal not bread? Is it a protein? In which case, I would definitely question where the fuck they're getting that from. Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of the life that waits for me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me? You've seen what Gatetown has to offer. These people can no longer fend for themselves. They've become dependent on handouts of meal and believe Ulmor's the answer to all their woes. Yet no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable to conceive of any other way of life. You disapprove of these people's way of life. Disapprove? It frustrates me, certainly. That's only part of it, though. The whole situation makes me uneasy. Not that it matters, however unjust this system seems to be. If these people claim to be content with their lot, it's hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forgo Ulmor's largesse are formed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gatetown, and so hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Nay, I'm not convinced that Ulmor's generosity truly serves the best interests of Calusia's people. I'm not so naive as to think there's some miraculous solution to all of this. Yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by the hands of a capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I'll not know for sure, however, until I've taken those long-delayed steps through Ulmor's gate. 'Tis fortunate you arrived when you did. I've been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, should soon come to fruition. There's a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondo, they're called, though you and I know them as the Sahagin. For the most part, they keep to themselves in their ocean grottos, and rarely have dealings with land dwellers. But as Tataru took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favours the bold, and so I reached out to them. I duly discovered the Ondo are inordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular, and when I offered to procure such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Ulmorian lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins? Yes, I've come a long way since my day of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. He has been here for a year. My appointment with the Ondo is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with them on the shore. Might you help me make the exchange? Or was it Alizé that's been here for a year? I forget if they were the same amount, because Alphino went before Alizé. Excellent. I should be glad of your company. First things first, then. We must pay a visit to Mosha Moa, my supplier in right. Come. It's just to the northwest of here. Uh-oh. Who dat? Who dat, then? Is that a different... Yeah, it is. It's a different teleport point. Mosha Moa. Is there something I can do for you, friend? Good day to you, Mosha Moa. This is my associate. We're here to collect the produce I purchased. Eh? I loaded your lackey up with the goods not long ago. My lackey? I know of no such person. Mistle lad. Short blue hair? No? He said he'd come on your behalf, and since he seemed to know all the details, I just assumed. Confound it, someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he can't have got far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point on the south side of the town, and I'll take the west. Wood Eyes, Treebeard's cousin. Oh, I have to actually do something. Oh! Found him. You've located your quarry. Oi, you catty bitch. After. Any sign of him? You've a keen eye. Let us move in before he makes good his escape.
There you are.
Ooh, voice.
The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired. I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea. Get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Crystarium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmoran's interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
Alpno's a good guy. Then now what the fuck are we gonna do?
This was but one path. There will be others. But for young Kai Shear, it was the difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless?
Not who you are.
I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alfino, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Rite then? Is that? I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble.
Oh.
Come on, they may need our help.
Okay. Who the fuck was it? Hello, Mr. Krabs. Oh, hey. Oh yeah, I don't think I found any of these for Calusia yet. I should take care of the worst of his injuries. Mercy. Mercy, I beg you. Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. Did he come from Yulmore? Poor man's shivering. Pray, keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. Why not summon your carbuncle? I'm sure the carbuncle must give off heat. I thought for certain I was dead. How am I ever to repay this kindness? We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? Tristal. I was invited into Ulmore to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their tastes, they just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Vorthry's city. Within days they brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he'd grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the goddamned ocean. From up there? Were you not dashed to pieces? Don't ask me. Luck, suppose. If you hadn't found me when you did, I wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. And the citizens condone such barbaric punishment. Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Vorthry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Ulmore, his word's law. The more I hear about Ulmore, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all my thoughts towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first, we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. A way into the city? Alphino is a good artist. Hey. Pray, accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life, and if you'll permit me, I would assist you in your attempt to enter Yulmore, insofar as I'm able, at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to my stomach. Since it's plain you've set your minds on it, you should take this. It's my favourite paintbrush. The Ulmorian elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. And if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince people you have a talent for painting. Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I give it gladly after all you've done for me. Besides, I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided. But I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession, And I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day. Head to Crystarium. They say kindness is its own reward, but Trystal has repaid us with a gift as timely as it was unexpected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps in to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do have some modest skill with a brush. Nothing approaching that of a true artist, of course, but enough to play the role, I would hope. As for you, well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, mayhap you could pose as my assistant? Then it's settled. All you need do now is return to Gatestown and await the next appearance of those vile jesters. Oh shit. We got a couple of side quests. Oh, who are you? Forgive me. Not often we see travellers in right. What with how dangerous it is hereabouts. I even worry for my husband taking the road down to the shipyard, and he's as strong as a Talos. He has been a good while, though. If you're headed that way, could you please let him know his wife's expecting him at home? Excuse me, but you're the lady Alphino was travelling with, aren't you? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. How lovely to meet you. My name is Ulysse, and I'm the acting village mayor. I was hoping someone of your talent would pass through right before long. The thing is, I need to visit someone up at Stonegazer, but I'm afraid to walk the path alone. Do you think you could provide an escort? My thanks. I just couldn't bring myself to ask one of the villagers. You see, there was an incident a while back where a veteran band of hunters was badly mauled. Simply mentioning that it's unsafe to wander outside the village these days would be enough to bring back memories of that grisly scene, which is why it's been so difficult to even bring up the subject. But such does not change the fact that the roads are indeed dangerous. Pray, meet me on the path to the north and be prepared to fend off the wildlife. Alright, we should be able to get this one... Oh, well, already by a fat fucking chicken. Jesus, lady. What did I tell you? I was barely 10 steps out of the village. Come, let us hurry along before more predators have a chance to gather. Oh. Yeah, that would explain why I wasn't seeing anything zoomed in. Thank you for the escort. This is the gentleman I wish to speak with, so we needn't go any further. Say, Luke? Are you wandering around by yourself out here? You know what kind of creatures lurk beyond the borders of the village. Well, if it isn't Clifton's little girl, something I can do for you, lass. Yes, sir. I came for an answer to my proposal from the other day. Have you given any thought to taking over as village mayor? I'm doing the best I can in the interim, but I have neither the age nor the wisdom to continue in the role, and the rest of the villagers agree with me. I'm fairly sure I told you nay once already. But seeing as you found a guard just so you could come and talk to me, then mayhap I'll consider the idea, in exchange for a few small tasks. You will? Please, just tell me what I need to do. My friend, Clifton, your dear father, Was looking for a sickle to cut some rope. Would you mind skipping back to the village and borrowing one for me? Why would you... I mean, a sickle, was it? For cutting rope? That shouldn't be too difficult. I'd only meant to ask you along for the one trip, but if I'm to complete these tasks, would you be willing to indulge me a while longer? I don't like the face he pulled. I wonder if he's not trying to kill himself. Good day to you, young Ulysses. You look a little flustered, dear. Was there something I could help you with? And a good day to you, madam. I was actually hoping to borrow a sickle. Is that all? Here, you can take this one. I have several spares, so there's no rush in returning it. Doing a spot of harvesting, are you? My thanks, but it's not for me exactly. I was asked to bring one for my father. Your father? Shadow, save me. Forgive me, if you're to accompany me on these tasks, you deserve to know the whole story. It was my father, who was the former mayor of Wright, and the incident I spoke of earlier was something that happened a year ago. One day a stray sin eater came prowling around and slaughtered nearly half the village. It was a waking nightmare. Some of the villagers blamed my father. They said it was because he refused to accept the protection of Ulmor. The sheer scale of the tragedy and the accusations that followed wore away at his conscience, till finally he could bear the guilt no longer. He hanged himself. Say Luke, the old man we spoke to, was his closest friend, but considering how he worded his request, it seems he's reluctant to accept the fact of my father's death. Still, I would see this task to its end. Let us bring him his sickle, shall we? Yeah, I think I should probably take this out of my roulette. Say, Luke, sir, we brought the sickle you asked for. Oh, good, good. Old Clifton will be too glad to see this. Oh, sir. Thank you for staying with me after. This might be harder than I expected. I'm grateful to have you with me. Thank you again. Say, Luke, I believe you had more tasks for me. Still here, are you? Yeah, tasks. There's a talus of mine that's taken far too long to make its return. Probably busy tussling with some dim-witted predator. Go see how it fares. Chase off anything slowing it down. But all the... You mean that talus? Follow my lead. We'll find the talus in question to the southwest of here, and I've no doubt there'll be dim-witted predators aplenty for you to deal with. That one, okay. Derelict. Squat squirrel. That sounds like some alternative Flappy Bird. I'm glad you're here. They must have burrowed in between the plates. I know Say Luke implied the Talus was still moving, but as you can see, once upon a time there'd be a line of these contraptions hauling materials down to the shipyard, step by ponderous step, which incidentally is how the slow road supposedly earned its name. But after Daedalus Stoneworks closed down some 15 summers ago, there's no one left to make or maintain their creations. One by one, the Talos slowly fell into disrepair. This particular worker was damaged during the Stray Eater rampage, and hasn't shifted an ilm ever since. It was always Say Luke's favourite. Come, let us make our report. Say Luke, sir, Arthur's cleared away the pests who were bothering your Talos. It should be left alone for the time being. Oh, it should be left alone for the time being. Excellent news, but I expect he'll need a good polishing when he returns. The most troublesome ones are often the most endearing, eh? Oh, sir. You've done me a fine service, thank you. Indeed, thank you. Never could have fought such creatures myself. If I might impose you for the next task as well. Thank you again for staying. Honestly, couldn't do this without you. Say, Luke, sir, were there any other tasks that you'd have us do? Just one last thing. I want you to gather some pretty flowers from the split hull as a gift for my darling wife. She went out on her usual walk, but's not yet deigned to come home. Fear I may have said something to sour her mood. I understand. We'll gather a lovely bouquet for her then. Well, will you accompany me to the Cape for some flower picking? His wife's dead, isn't she? It's been 17 years. Oh wait, the Cape's that one. Okay. This is almost pleasant, isn't it? Aside from the aggressive wildlife, of course. I should tell you about Say Luke's wife. She was killed in the Eater incident, though I imagine you already suspected as much. They made such a sweet couple. Every day they would walk up this cape hand in hand, and she would gaze out over the flowers with this warm, contented smile. Say Luke himself has some training as a warrior. He would guard her as if she were a princess and he a gallant knight. I'm sorry, it's just... Is Say Luke fit to serve as mayor? There are none who care for right and its people more than he. The villagers and I are certain that Say Luke will rise to the occasion. He just needs a little more time. It has been but a year, and we're all still suffering. Some seek to bury the misery beneath cheery faces, and others are yet trapped in the memories of the past. Say Luke, I fear, is one of the latter. But if a bouquet of flowers is what it takes to help him work through his sadness, then I would pick every bloom from this cape. Will you give me a hand to find some of the prettier flowers? Pray, think of it as a tribute to the deceased. What kind of flowers are these? They almost look like poppies. There might be roses, although they're not very tall. Let's see what we have. Yes, these are beautiful. Thank you. Say Luke will be pleased. Let's take them back to Stonegazer before they get crushed in some scuffle. Could have probably started that quest whilst I was here, but... There. That doesn't seem like a terrible fate to get involved in. But I'll probably... Once the Moogle Tombstone event is over, I'll probably... be doing a lot more fates. We made it, and the flowers are none the worse for wear. Say, Luke, After and I have returned with the bouquet for your wife. Splendid, thank you. Now, perhaps she'll come... She'll come back to... Oh. Sir. Ulis, forgive me. I've asked such cruel things of you. And I must apologize to you as well. My beloved wife. My dear neighbors. So many gone. After it happened, despair became my only companion. I could not even save my closest friend when his torment was plain for all to see. I could never forgive myself. So I embraced this delusion, thinking that maybe if I tried hard enough, if I truly believed they were still alive, the events of that day would fade away like the nightmare it was. But I succeeded only in hurting those around me. I understand why you did what you did, sir. Truly I do. You always were such a sweet child. I'll place the flowers you brought on her grave. She would have loved them. As for me assuming the role of mayor, I'm sorry. I cannot give you a decision just yet. Take as long as you need. In fact, I might need a little time to recover myself. If you could give me a moment or two. Thank you for your patience. Say Luke still appears to be wrestling with his thoughts. Perhaps we can help him come to a decision. I don't mean to press you, sir, but might you have arrived at an answer to my proposal? Not exactly, no. There's another matter I have yet to reconcile. Would you mind sharing this matter with us? Well, it goes back to the day that this eater attacked the village. I was taking my turn as lookout here at Stonegazer. It's a duty we take very seriously. They say when the tower was originally built in the time before the flood, they were worried about dwarves and mountain bandits. But these days... yeah, there's far worse prowling around, and I failed to spot it. The Sin Eater, which came that day, did not appear as the other monstrosities I've seen. From a distance, it simply looked like a person. I wanted to be sure before I rang the warning bell, but I waited too long. Many who could have fled died because of my hesitation. How could a man of such faulty judgment ever serve you as mayor? What comfort can I offer those whose loved ones were needlessly slain? None. Not whilst the abomination itself yet roams free to kill again. You take vengeance on our behalf. That's good, but we were powerless before its might. Should the Eater show its cursed face again, then I pray you are as strong as you appear. I know nothing of the roads you've walked, or the battles you've fought, so I can but echo what Say Luke has said. Our prayers will be for your victory. Well, you've heard Arthur's words. Talk of vengeance aside, I do not believe the villagers, either living or dead, hold you responsible for the actions of that monster. And yet I cannot fault you for wanting to remain distant. Pray, forgive me for pestering you so. Nay, 'tis I who should beg forgiveness, though you've lost as much as anyone. I left you to shoulder the burden of leadership alone. All will be well with you back among us again. Come, let us return to the village. As I've said, it's unsafe to linger out here for long. One last escort back to Right, if you would. My thanks for your protection, not to mention your unfailing patience. It's my hope that now... I, for one, feel ready to face another day. After all, I have my friends and neighbours here to help me face it. There was one last thing I wanted to show both you and, say, Luke. It has to do with Wright's traditional industry, if you were interested in taking a look. Oh, good. I was worried you'd had enough of me. My last errand for you, then, will be to have a word with, say, Luke and bring him to the barley fields at the front of the village. I'll be there tending to the crops until you arrive. Oh wait, he's right here. I'm grateful for your understanding and the flowers you brought. My wife would very much approve of the selection. Was there something you wish to discuss with me? And Euless wants me there as well, does she? We'd best head over to the fields then. This is what I wanted to show you. The barley crop right here. This was your father's plot, wasn't it? And you've been tending to it in his absence. Every single day. I wanted to see his plans come true. His plans? Yes, he dreamed of restoring things to how the history books said they once were, before the flood ruined everything. Our village has long been known as a place of artisans. Even the name, Wright, is a nod to all the craftsmen that once made their home here. In years gone by, it's said a line of talus would stretch down the road, arms bearing lumber, and this shipyard would echo with the calls of shipwrights hard at work. When the day was done, they would gather here to share an ale in the village. My father, he'd hoped to brew that traditional rye ale with the barley from this crop, to one day tap a barrel with his family and dear friends and raise a toast to the future. Say, Luke, after, will you raise a mug with me when that day comes? Of course I will. But my dear girl, the land here does not nourish the crops as it once did. I fear it will be some time ere you have barley fit for the ale you have in mind. In the meantime, will you help me with the rest of Clifton's plans? The rest? He wanted things the way they once were, did he not? But we must first recover from the tragedy which was visited upon us. There's no simple solution, but I mean to do what I can to lead our community out this mire of pain and grief. Assuming you're still willing to have me as mayor. Oh, yes, of course, sir. Thank you. I was set to live out the rest of my life in denial, but you and Euless have opened the eyes of this old fool to what needs to be done, and for that you have my thanks. Now, I'd best get to work. I have folk to talk to and plans to make. When you're finished here, Euless, I'd appreciate your assistance. Well, I think this is where we finally part ways. Thank you again for all you've done for us. The people of Right will go on, even under the weight of our sorrow. It might not happen this day or the next, but together we'll find ways to make things better, to recapture the prosperity this village once had. I look forward to when you next meet. With any luck, I'll be waiting to put a frothing mug of right brewed ale in your hand. Cool. Now let's head over to that dockyard. Something I can do for you, stranger? Well, beat me with a hammer. Has it been that long? I was aiming to salvage the planks from this old hull, but she's given me more trouble than I bargained for. Bit of a waste to leave all this lumber lying around. Not much call for seaworthy ships since the light ate up half the world, you understand. So I reckoned it were better for a woodworker like me to put it to good use. These boards, though, they're so tightly joined I can't pull the bleeding things loose. Here, do me a favour and sprinkle some of this powder on the joints along the keel. I'll keep working on this end, and with any luck I can make it home before the wife stomps down here to fetch me herself. Come on. There we go. Come on! I keep pressing it and it... Roar. Fuck. I press it and it doesn't work, and I have to press it a second time. That should just do the trick. Powdered fire crystal's best thing for melting wood glue. Just pour in a little water and the steam will take care of the rest. Oh, it'll be a one-man job now, thanks to you. Oh, and if you could let Theones know I'll be done within an hour, then you'll have helped me out on 2 rough spots today. He's alright then. Well, that's a relief. Wright's had its shares of trouble, and a wife does worry. What, he had you helping strip planks? The cheek of that man! Still, we're lucky his father taught him the trade at all, even if he uses those skills to take ships apart instead of building them. A woodworker puts food on the table, so I'm grateful to his family for keeping up their traditions. And I'm grateful to you for bringing me peace of mind. Please, take this for your kindness. Okay, back to your more then. Nearly there. Oh, here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention once more. What a day it's been for folks at your door. We've welcomed a peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've a place for a painter of a plum. So come along and don't be slow, it's time to let your colours show. I can paint, portraits at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. Oh, I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What a fortune that you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person? Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I've only my brush to testify for me, though you will note that it's seen no small amount of service. Flecks of paint, both old and new, a tool much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well. Come with us and we'll put those talents to the test. Oh, and who's this hanger-on? Well-wisher or parasite? Why, this is my assistant. She whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with her or not at all. Parasite, then. We shall leave her fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest vacant space, we retire to Ulmore's sweet embrace. Oh, mercy me, the meal! We almost took our leave without leaving a loving token. We must empty the sack so we make our way back.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Welcome, welcome to the city of final pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No? Not even a single tear? Moving right along, then. Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, so you just need to put on your happy faces and head through the joyous hall. The Bureau of Immigration's in the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice, loud voice. The clerks will tell you where to go from there. Oh, and pay no mind to those folk off to the side of the street. Much like the hopefuls in Gate Town, they haven't earned the right to enter the city proper. If, however, you enjoy basking in the envy of your fellow man, then by all means, take your time. But why waste another moment? Go! Enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. The Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we'd best show ourselves willing for the time being. So, the Crystarium is the equivalent to, like, Foundation or Kugane. And Yulmore is the Idleshire Rauga's Reach equivalent. Welcome to Yulmore, fortunate friends. May I have your names? I am Alphino, an artist, and this is After, my assistant. Yes, I was informed of your imminent arrival. We can forego the usual interview and begin processing your registration papers forthwith. Now, the citizens of Yulmore are divided into two classes. There are the free, who are blessed with the favour of Lord Vothry, and the bonded, who work in the employ of the free. You'll be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve a patron in the capacity for which you were chosen. In your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patron dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free, or accept work as a general labourer. I see. And might you tell us something of the patron we are to serve? The two patrons, actually. Chai Nuz and Dulia Chai, a Mistal couple whom most refer to as the Chais. They are both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility, for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment, please, while I complete the relevant paperwork. All in order? These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you will be officially Ulmorian citizens. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Welcome to the Bureau of Registration. Papers, please. What have we here? Alphino artist, after artist's assistant, to be employed in the service of Lord Cheynus and Lady Dulia Che. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it best that we deliver you to the Chai residence before... Oh dear. You smell hideous. Did you crawl here through a ditch? It's like an unholy miasma of dust and sweat and the musk of some unwashed beast. Proceed directly to the delousery next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whichever showers are free. After you've rinsed away that stench, you'll want to splash yourselves with this perfume liberally. Once you've made yourself presentable, then you may proceed to the Chai residence. Cornine, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. Hadn't realized we were so aromatic. Well, I suppose we are adventurers. It's not like you're going to be able to yeah. Words. It's not like you're going to be able to bathe all that often or well. You rinse yourself clean in the stream of water. I clean. I smell good. You apply the perfume as directed, and the delicate scent of roses fills the air. Oh, you've showered and dressed already, have you? It is not, that is to say, it seems rather exposed for one's ablutions, does it not? Hurry up and shower, Stinky! Stinky! Fine, just a quick rinse then. And that is the best dialogue line that I know of in the game. Getting to call Alphino a stinky boy. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering smells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go and present ourselves to our new patrons then? You're looking to present yourself to the Chais, are you? Let me explain how the city's laid out then. Imagine 3 layers, one on top of the other. That's how layers work. This layer here is called the buttress. Above us is the understory, where the military has its headquarters. And above that, you got the canopy, which is where the free citizens of Ulmor spend their days. So if you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs. Then look for the Grand Dame's Parlour. They'll be in there, like as not. I want the Ethernet. Alright, we keep going up. And here we are. I don't think I can actually attune to this yet. According to the message engraved in the base, special permission is required to use this. But there is script exchange and stuff here, right? Can I use those? No. Fuck. Splendors? Fuck. Double fuck. The summoning bell? Anything? Hello. One of the first actually like overweight characters in the entire game, as far as I'm aware of. Hey, Patinka, how you doing?
Oh, who's this then?
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Ah, you must be the new,
Painter.
Oh, goodness me. What an adorable boy. That silken hair, those pearly cheeks, ooh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers. I approve of this one, dearest. I am positive he'll paint us the most delightful pictures.
Yes. Well, as long as he paints better than that talentless wretch we sent packing last week.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to Yulmore.
Alphino, if it please you, my lady. And this is my assistant.
Your assistant? I've heard of folk bringing in family members, but this seems a bit irregular. Aren't you a little young to have a protege?
We are family in all but name, my lord. Though we share no blood, we have stood by each other through life's many challenges, resolved to prevail together or not at all. Of all people, 'tis she who best understands my work. With her unique insight guiding my hand, the art I create is sure to satisfy your expectations. Once the picture has begun, of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than her being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city she has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for her priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on her behalf.
Oh, did you ever hear of such devotion? Of course your assistant must have her wish. She shall be free to roam to her heart's content.
That was easy.
Isn't that right, darling?
You can see who wears the pants.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
You're okay, but you're feeling a bit bad because stress is getting you to tense up and you got some muscle cramps. I feel that a combination of stress and not enough sleep or poor quality of sleep or whatever the fuck. I have an eye twitch that has been particularly bad the past couple of days. So luckily I haven't had a cramp in a little while, but that's because I make sure that I'm like snacking on dried fruits and stuff, because it's quite often cramps can be worsened by vitamin deficiencies, particularly potassium, at least historically, but also calcium and magnesium, because those are neurotransmitters used for, well, calcium is it was it calcium or was it magnesium that's used as, no, it's calcium's used as a neurotransmitter as well. Trying to remember courses that I did in uni. It's nearly 10 years ago now. You need to get a replacement for bananas in your diet. Yeah, like I have some supplements that I should really be taking more often. Speaking of which, you had to stop eating nanas because bowel issues. Yeah, I can understand that. I need to work out something that's good. I also have some cheap multivitamins and iron that I was taking for a while, but they were giving me indigestion, so I stopped. The gummies I find are better for indigestion, not giving it, rather. But those just, yeah, not great for me. Free to sightsee. Now you've the opportunity to experience Yulmore. I suggest you make the most of it. Explore the city, top to bottom. In other words, I would start with the canopy and go from there. Try wandering around the market stalls, mayhap. Such places are usually filled with colourful characters, only too eager to share local gossip with a friendly visitor. This time after the surgery, since you got some bowel issues, you started consuming some good amounts of oats with your cereal. You see, that's the thing for me. I don't really... I used to have cereal quite a lot, like at school. But then I stopped, I think... when I went to like sixth form, I stopped because I just, for me, like the UK can be cold in the mornings, especially. And the last thing that I want when it is cold and I'm already struggling to get out of bed because of the temperature Like, I just want to stay in the warm, cozy covers, you know, all snuggled up and shit. The last thing that I want to do is then put cold milk and cereal inside me. Usually through my mouth. But sometimes, you know, I might get a bit adventurous. But also I hate the taste and texture of, like, warm or hot milk. It's not... If it's in something like a porridge, it's fine. Because I'd usually add, like, a bit of jam or some chocolate or something like honey, maple syrup or something to get a bit of sweetness, and, you know, that's the flavouring for the oatmeal, other than oats. But no, I can't. I should probably start having oatmeal more. What I have done, which probably isn't the best for cholesterol and all the rest of it, is on the weekends and Fridays, because even when I am going to the office, I work from home on Fridays, is I'll have sausage, bacon and toast for my breakfasts. But that's also, usually I'll have that as like a late breakfast, and then I won't have a lunch. It's probably not the best for me cholesterol wise, but it's a hearty breakfast. I would appreciate it, of course, if you could share any discoveries with me in turn. We should both learn as much as possible about our new place of residence. In the afternoon, so you have cereal as a mid-afternoon snack. In the afternoon you have cereals, and since you need help, you have oat as a replacer for 50% of the cereal. It doesn't taste bad, because you never had the super sugary cereal. Yeah, my favourite... Okay, well, maybe not my favourite, but my go-to cereal for a long time was Fruit and Fibre, which is basically bran flakes with like dried fruit, like raisins. I think there's some coconut. Some nuts. Like, that was the one that I would quite often go for, that was actually relatively healthy, even as like a teenager or whatever. Like, I liked it because the fruit gave it all the sweetness that it needed, and because there was a little bit of different stuff, like the bites weren't boring, because I'm the kind of probable autistic that I don't... Bland foods put me off because I'm sensory seeking through food, whereas a lot of other people with autism need like bland food, like beige, it's consistent with each bite and stuff like that. You have the Kellogg's with some chocolate, so it isn't just bland and there's a bit of sugar. Yeah, mini Weetabix, although I'd again usually get the one with raisins. Mini Weetabix with raisins were good. If I was going for a sweeter cereal, it was often Crunchy Nut. Anyway, I'm going to quickly pop to the toilet, but I'll be right back. All this talk of bowels and things. you did in the uni era of you buying food, have a special cereal box just when you needed a huge amount of sugar in a short period of time. They were like cereal pockets with Nutella like chocolate inside. Yeah, we have those in a, there's a brand called Crave that does those. If I was wanting a chocolatey cereal, I'd probably get Cocoa Puffs, personally. Or Cocoa Pops. We also have Golden Nuggets, which are like these, they're almost like cheese balls, but of like hard, I think it's puffed corn. And those are basically just sugary. And then there's Sugar Puffs. Or was it Honey Puffs? Honey Puffs? Sugar Monsters Honey Puffs, I think it was. Those... I could probably pick up a box now and demolish it. It's just... Yeah. But the thing with those is they'd go stale really, really quickly. With Honey Puffs. But those were a good... I liked those. The boutique always wins. Ah. Hello. Hello. You're the esteemed Afterburn, yes? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Moen, founder and chairwoman of the Boutique of Splendors. Master Alphina's spoken quite highly of you and your unparalleled artistic abilities. Quite highly indeed. Forgive me my boldness, but I should be most honored if you were to register with us as a provider of collectibles. As compensation, we can offer you a wide variety of goods I'm confident will meet with your approval. Not direct compensation, to be clear. We've adopted a system rather similar to one with which you are doubtless familiar, and which I only recently learned of from Master Alphino. For every delivery, you'll receive a payment in the form of scripts. This exclusive currency is redeemable only with the Boutique of Splendors. Limiting, perhaps, but you'll find the equipment and materials we have on offer more than make up for any inconvenience. The woman who first conceived this approach was brilliant, wouldn't you agree? A true visionary who managed to bring together people from all walks of life and reshape the world with a boundless compassion and generosity. You do kind of look like Rowena. Oh, and I should mention that a negligible portion of the value of all collectibles processed will be withheld to account for overhead and other assorted operating expenses. Doubtless, I need not explain the necessity of this. You got anything good? You've got gear, which is the Hand Saint set. What's that look like? No, I hate it. Yeah, no, I'm happy to not have that. Oh, but yeah, I need scripts in order to do the, yeah. There's a relic thing that you can get. I should be able to buy... all of those now. Because everything's at least level 90. I mean, I should probably do this off stream, because there's still like three, we're on free to sightsee, so there's still 4 quests to do before we're done with Alphino's side of this. And it's already midnight. And on a school night. Though I'm I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I could probably buy those, but there's no particular rush. What about Gatherer at level 80? Land Saint. What's that look like? Ooh, I potentially don't hate this, although I could get a cheaper... set. Don't hate those boots, though. Do not hate those boots. Okay, and so that's basically the same, just with slightly... Oh, that's... Why is this not dual channel? Are you kidding me? This is exactly the kind of thing that you could make dual channel. Okay. I could buy regional folklore stuff, but I don't know how many or what I'd need yet. I need a total of 120. Okay. And how many can I buy? Okay. Give me 90, and then I need another 30. And I've got the 120. And now I never need any more. That was easy. I'll look at doing a resplendent tool. Because these are basically one of the relics for crafters that you can get. But they're not, I don't think they're too difficult to do. They're just a script dump, which is fine for me because I don't have anything else to spend scripts on. So it works out, actually. Oh, hello there. A fresh register, are we? You seem a little lost. Well, 'tis lovely to make your acquaintance. Speaking of acquaintances, you wouldn't happen to have run into my attendant on your wanderings, would you? Big, strong lad, long hair, tied back. He was escorting me on a shopping errand when I realised I'd dropped my handkerchief, and now I've been waiting here all alone while he's been off searching for it. I'm not terribly fond of being alone. If you do see him, I'd be obliged if you could pass on this message. Forget the silly handkerchief and return to my side at once. If I remember correctly, I know where this guy is. Luxury trader? Oh, kills. You know. You know. Hey, friend. How you doing? You hanging in there? Wicked white, that was too close. Thank you, friend. Don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along. I was trying to rescue my lady's handkerchief, you see. Wind must have blown it over the edge. But luckily it caught on something. I thought if I could just stretch out far enough. You must think highly of your mistress. She's my entire world. Without her, I'm nothing. When I first came to Yulmore, I thought only of improving my lot in life. But there was so much more to this city than wealth and plenty. There's no war here, no conflict. The residents all treat each other with warmth and respect. My mistress has been ever so kind to me, and I can think of no other place in Calusia where I could possibly be happier. Sorry, I must have gotten a bit carried away. I find it hard to stop when I start counting my blessings these days. Please, you should come with me to meet my lady. Once she hears of your deed, you'll be witness to her generosity firsthand. What? Lonely, you say? Curse my clumsy feet. I must return to her immediately. My attendant told me everything. So very grateful you were there to offer your assistance. You value him highly, then? As if he were a member of my own family. I could not live the wonderful life I lead without him. We free citizens owe the bonded our unending gratitude. Mayhap in another society our different standing would breed prejudice or resentment, but in Yulmore a most glorious measure is in place to avert such unpleasantness. Part of that measure requires that the free surrender their fortunes. Upon registration, all our property, financial, intellectual or otherwise, is given over to the city. In exchange, we're provided with ample funds and commodities to live a life of pampered luxury. Being liberated from the concern of earning coin has an almost miraculous effect on people's outlook. There are no rivals to compete against, only fellow residents with whom to enjoy our tranquil existence. Now, if you'll excuse us, I must see what the market has to offer as a reward for the return of my handkerchief. Oh, and I've not forgotten you, of course, our courageous messenger turned rescuer. All this talk of relying on the bonded, and I haven't given a thought as to what your duties must be. I hope I haven't interrupted your work unduly. A tour of the city, is it? Well, then you really must visit the Beehive. It's always buzzing with activity. Local humour. Anyway, a lady by the name of Tista Bie usually has her seat near the entrance. She'll gladly speak with you on any number of topics, assuming you find yourself on her good side. It's time to go to the strip club. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a strip club. And they all wear the masks from the Bone Wicker stuff, at least in those things. Yeah. Dance, boy, dance. Yes. Yes. This is what I was born to do. No. You can imagine why some people like this place. Welcome to the Beehive, my little drone. Seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day? I can tell at a glance when folk are new to our happy colony. It's the nervous fluttering, you see. Always gives them away. Why don't we play some cards to set you at ease, eh? A quick game of high or low? Simply a matter of guessing who has the bigger hand. If you win, I'll grant you a single favour. Within reason, of course. Interested? Ready for a game of high or low, then? Good for you. No time like the present, I say. Freaking ERP is as long as no potatoes are seen in those properties. No, people have since moved to private housing for those. 3 cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over and I flip 2 of mine. Now, what's your call? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? You're going with high then? Right, let's see what we've got. My cards add up to 8 and you have more than 8. A total of 18. Congratulations, your guess was right. Usually I'd concede defeat at this point, but what do you say to a rematch? One more win and we'll talk about that favour. Another match of high or low? Come now, little honeybee. We all need our diversions. That's the spirit. Let me sort out the deck. As far as I'm aware, this is the only time this ever comes up as a mechanic. I don't think this ever gets reused. Will your total be higher or lower than mine? I'm going to go high again. You're going with high then? Right, let's see what we've got. My cards add up to 13, and you have, well, I already have 9. Yeah, 18 again? Easy. Well, would you look at that? Think you've got a knack for this, newcomer? Congratulations, victory's yours, as is the prize I promised. Come whisper in my ear then, and don't be shy. Tell old Tista what she can do for you. That's all? How delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is what you shall have. In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin-Eaters. They say Lord Vothri was born with the power to command them, which means no Yulmorian need ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might get a few words out of Arthan over there. There's naught that merry sot likes more than the sound of his own voice. What's that? New to Yulmor, you say? Only just arrived and already you're looking to peel away the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all for chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. I'll tell you what, you hop on stage and give us a dance first, and then we can have our little talk. That's right. I have no choice. I must dance. Apparently that's good enough. That's the way. Dance like there's no tomorrow. Now that was a show. You're welcome to clamber up on stage anytime you like. So, what was it you wanted to ask me? Ah, yes, something about our fair city. Well, I can tell you it wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Yulmorian army may be the very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin-Eaters. Things changed for us, about 20 years ago now, and when the old ruler's son came to power. He's got this way with the Eaters, you see. Turns them docile as house cats. I wouldn't be exaggerating to say they've become something of an ally to Yulmor. No longer an enemy to be feared. And yet, elsewhere, there are still fools who insist on fighting their losing battles. Bah! A toast to Lord Vothri. You've gained a preliminary sense of the city. The Chais and Alphino will be expecting your return. Oh, you've returned from your jaunt around the city so soon? You needn't have hurried back. Young Alphino is yet to put brush to canvas. One cannot rush good art, I'm told. Or good artists, apparently. Ah, finally. Looking good. I've put together an ensemble out of the garments you chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh, goodness gracious me! That last outfit was precious, but this makes you look positively dashing. You truly are a handsome boy. However am I to decide? I don't recall this part of the artistic process. Exactly. The lad's an artist, dearest, not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. You must consume food. Food is good to consume, yes. Must we? I do love a good painting, but I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly... Well, I'd not... That is to say, as long as you... Just make sure you give the lad time to prepare. We know he'll be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. Whatever you say, darling. So, shall we pick out some jewellery next? Lady Chai has a very particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how I should dress whilst painting. But this obsession of hers works in our favour. The time I spent indulging these distractions is time you can use to continue your explorations. For this excursion, I'd like you to delve into the layers below us and sniff about the military headquarters. I'm sure the understory has its own tale to tell. Alright, we're nearly done with Alphino's questline. How am I to get on top of that? That's surely too far to jump. Perhaps not. Is this the right way to go about this? Probably fucking not. Is this something that I should be trying to do right now? Definitely not. Is that going to stop me from trying? No. I'm starting to think perhaps this isn't the way to go about it. How did I get it to work last time and now I can't? Fuck it. It's fine. Oh, you're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me. Please, I need your help. My throat, I can't sing anymore. I've been making excuses, but it's just not getting any better. If my patron thinks I'm of no use to him, then I need you to sneak out to the derelicts and describe my condition to Thoric. There's a list of symptoms and a hunk of meal to pay for his medicines. Please, no one else to turn to. That feels like a really long jump. Yeah. It's possible that that's the way that you're supposed to get there, but... Can confirm food was good. Good. I won't lie, I was supposed to have done a grocery order today. And I've just not. But I got a pizza for my, well, part of my dinner. Which I've basically not touched yet, so that can be my food for tomorrow, and I've still got some stuff in the fridge. Worst case scenario, I've got, like, just pasta, peas, and some butter is a perfectly good dinner. And I've got some bacon. Pasta, peas, and bacon. That sounds like a good enough dinner to me. You need medicines? Tonics? Potions? Hold on, my mic's getting blown out. There we go, that's a bit better. A cure for an ailing voice, is it? No medicine will cure this. Methinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. It must be cut out, excised, and even then the voice may never heal completely. Poor little songbird. Will they kick her from the nest, I wonder, or simply silence her chirps? Your face, you didn't know? Of the many hopefuls who enter the city, very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses. You might see one or two fortunate fools hurled from the balcony, but the rest, gone. A town of nightmares it is. Not for this ship's rat, oh no. I'm content to scurry around down here and nibble on the crumbs which fall from the table. This consultation's over. You have my verdict, and I have my meal. Good day. Did you get my medicine? You'd narrate too, but Destiny is fully voice acted. So that's it. What am I to do if I can't sing? There you are, my sweet canary. Have you been crying again? Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir. Have mercy, I've done all I can, but even the apothecary said... So you've been suffering all this time? I'm sorry, my pet. I hadn't realized your affliction was this grave, but you needn't fret. I'll not reward your hours of trilling by casting you out into the street. You're too kind, sir. But what use am I if I cannot sing? Fear the day I become more burden to you than treasure. Then I shall have a word with Lord Vothri and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise where resides neither pain nor illness will your song ring out clearly once again. Or mayhap you think it a step too far? No, you would do that for me? Of course. Why, I would almost wish to hasten my own ascension, knowing your blessed instrument was waiting there to greet me. Ascension? Ah, you must be a new arrival. Allow me to explain. As all know, the Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful, but also do they serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them unto celestial paradise. It is through Lord Vothri that we learned this truth. It is through Lord Vothri's grace that the free people of Ulmor are destined to embrace salvation. We're blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment, until at last we are called to our final rapture. Even the bonded may find a place within that host, should their patrons deem them worthy. Lord Vothri's truly a great man, isn't he? Now, if you will excuse us, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you've shown my precious canary. Oh, yeah, yeah. I can't fast travel because I don't have access to the fucking aetheryte. It's looking pretty good so far. It's good to see you back. You were taking so long, I began to worry something had happened. I've begun sketching an outline for the portrait, but nay, the chais appear otherwise occupied. Will you share what your investigations have gleaned thus far? So, Lord Vothri boasts some manner of influence over the Sin Eaters, does he? That would explain the reverence in which he is held by the citizenry. And as for this ascension business, I cannot help but be put in a mind of that apothecary in his ominous remarks. If so many folk have entered the city over the years, where do they go? To make the meal. I take my eye off you for one moment. You're chattering away with that assistant of yours. Am I to assume the outline is done, then? What in the blazes? It's so unflattering. Explain yourself, Apano. Where's your artistic interpretation? It should invoke images of affluence and nobility and overwhelm the viewer, with its boundless beauty. Lord Chai, you stated this portrait was to commemorate your anniversary. Yours being a joyous union, it seemed to me that a realistic portrayal... Realistic? I don't want realism, I want perfection. A spectacle to slacken jaws and weaken knees, to make people cry out in amazement. Now, fetch a blank canvas and... I say, did that come from above? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A tale to make you quiver and your noble blood freeze. There's a villain on the loose, set to ruin our fair city. But our lord's got him now, and his fate will not be pretty. The hammer of justice is poised to come crashing down, and one and all who watch it fall are invited to join his lordship in the offer. A malcontent? How dreadful. And this man is to face sentencing? That's right. In fact, if you're curious, it might be worth you going along for the experience. The offer they mentioned is part of the Emergent, the level above us where Lord Vorthri resides. Ordinarily, you'd be barred from entering, but it seems they'll be opening its doors for the next little while. The Crown lift will take you up there. We'd better not dawdle then. Joining the crowd up there.
That's him. That's Vorthri.
That's a huge bitch. With a baby face.
He's attended by sin eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
By the 12. Kaishia, what happened to you?
Who are these impudent louts? I do not recall requesting their presence.
Shut up, cunt.
Lord Vorthri, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death on your floor?
Why? You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud. He came to us claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but. Europe is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society! To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony. And he had the temerity to weep. Please, my lord, anything but that. What then is a man of mercy to do? But offer the sinner another way to show his contrition.
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Sin eaters are part of Yulmor's society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether. So, I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide. And still, he could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
It is true that Kaishia won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by desire to share in your paradise. That you would cast him out, I could almost accept, but to humiliate him thus, to demand his very life? Is this truly the way of Yulmore?
Oh, you dim, deluded child. Have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours? The guarantee of safety and stability. The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear. I alone can offer these things, for I alone can command the Sin Eaters. And thus am I alone the voice of justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
People call this paradise.
You were granted a place in my city for a particular skill. What was it?
Painting.
Oh, an artiste! Then you shall paint a picture for me. Of Yulmore. If I find your art pleasing, then I may excuse this display of insolence.
I don't like him.
Permission to tend to that criminal's wounds! I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could. Can you walk?
I think so.
Did that little worm just insult me?
The delay.
I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! Then tear out their hearts!
Charming. I hope you have a good night, Patinga, if you're still here, by the way. Forgive me. In my anger, I seem to have marched us back outside again. It's probably best we leave the island altogether. I believe we've worn out our welcome in Yulmore. In any case, I've seen enough of the world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our battle against the Sin Eaters will find few allies in Calusia. I'll accompany you back to Crystarium. We need to regroup and think on our strategy anew. Kaishir, I have done you a grave disservice. You are hungry and desperate, and I offered you a solution without once considering the risks inherent in you accepting it. If I had but known the price you would be made to pay. You gave me everything I needed to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. But even after all the trouble I caused, you still stepped in and saved me. And now Lord Vothri wants us all dead. Why not come back with us to the Crystarium? I'm certain we can find work for you there if you're willing. No, that would be me just leaning on your kindness again. I need to do some thinking, learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well, but you must promise you'll be careful. The Ylmorians may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. You take care too. Give me the chance to repay what you've done for me. No. Lord and Lady Chai? What in the blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek at your unfinished portrait, Alphino. Now, I've had many a beautiful and striking picture painted of me, but there was something about your work. It was as if you had caught the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us and finish what you began. I will speak with Lord Vothri and vouch for your character. I'm sure we can smooth over any hard feelings. I'm sorry, Lady Chai. There are more important matters to which I must attend. More important? What could be more important than enjoying the days we have left to us to the fullest? Pray, press me no further. We are leaving, but I would not presume to take the garments you were so kind as to procure for me. One moment. I wouldn't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy. I insist. And I shall make arrangements that you can pass through the gate without causing a stir. I expect you to come and visit. I will return, I promise you that. The outrage I witnessed must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides behind the glittering facade. Oh wait, no. Hold on. Not back there. Instead, we're going back to the beach, which means still tide. Okay. Thank you, my friend, for staying at my side through this whole sordid endeavour. Whilst not quite the joyous outcome I'd hoped for, our efforts have nevertheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the First are unlikely to involve the aid of Lord Vothri and his subjects. Come, we must speak with the Exarch and chart a new course. This is far from over. Alright, let's finish this quest, and then that'll be where I call it for tonight. Ah, it's good to be back among friends. Not to mention my dear sister. Not seen her for some time. Guess she's as keen to press on with our plans as I am. And you've seen quite a lot of the First yourself now. More than enough to appreciate the scale of the obstacles we face. Let us lay our discoveries before the Exarch and discuss what must be done. There we go. Ugh. Oh. So that is basically almost all of the sort of level 70 to 71 quests. There's 2 more 71, which includes the first dungeon. But yeah, so we're not doing too badly so far. And yeah, I am looking forward to going through more of Shadowbringers because the content gets a bit different and it's stuff that I've not done as much. Like I literally played through Shadowbringers MSQ with skipping pretty much all of the cutscenes once, and did I did one of the dungeons. I think I did the first and second dungeon a few times, but beyond that I've not really done any of the content more than once, so I don't know it, and I don't know any of the optional content. I've not done any of the Beast Tribes, any of the Alliance raids, any of the raids, so I'm kind of looking forward to experiencing some of this stuff for the first time. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Later.